You don't need to use an oversized AI model for everything, just like you don't need to use an axe to slice a cake. Find out how smaller models can deliver the right results and help cut AI costs up to 90% at IBM.com. The AI built for business. IBM. Great solos don't make a symphony. In music or AI, get AI that's in tune with your business at IBM.com. The AI built for business. IBM.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit TemptationsTreats.com to learn more.
I think you're on mute.
Workday starting to sound the same?
I think you're on mute.
Find something that sounds better for your career on LinkedIn. With LinkedIn Job Collections, you can browse curated collections by relevant industries and benefits, like flex PTO or hybrid workplaces, so you can find the right job for you. Get started at linkedin.com/jobs. Finding where you fit. LinkedIn knows how.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Halle Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
Jay in the high, and you know he's my guy, Halle. How are you?
Oh, so blessed. I'm blessed with spring. I'm blessed with friends. I'm blessed with blessings.
Well, Halle, I agree with that, although you came in this morning a bit rattled. You said you keep having, nightmares?
Well, you know what? I don't call them nightmares all the time. I
what do you
usually
call
call
them?
them demonic attacks.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that one of, Satan's most sulfuric monsters has one of his, acidic talons dipped into my brain while I'm trying to get some Z's.
What are you dreaming about that's got you all rattled? What was in the dream?
Honestly, last night I dreamed about a mushroom cloud.
Oh, really?
The big boom. Uh-huh.
Oh, so it's kind of a Cold War scary dream.
Oh, is that Cold War? I thought
Well,
that was back.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it?
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I got you back too. Always, even in the waking hours. I mean, as long as I'm not busy.
You've got my back?
When I in a work way, Halle.
You've got my work back?
I've got your work back. We're bringing work back. So you just had these bad dreams, and that's why you came in here all frazzled this morning.
But don't you think I look fresh-faced?
Oh, you look great. What is it? What are you doing with your face these days?
Oh, is it noticeable?
It's definitely sticky.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's supposed to look dewy.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, what it looks a bit like, what is this? It's like a string. What is this? It's part of a banana peel. What is this?
Oh, yeah. What is that called on a banana? Those little string parts that are always getting in the way, but maybe there's fiber in there. I don't know. I was putting banana peels in the water that I fed to my house plants. Then I started using a banana on my face.
Oh, why?
Because I'm starting a new product line, and I don't know if this is the right time to say, but there's no time like the present. I'm starting a new product line where I'm using all biblical fruits. The Bible isn't very prolific about fruit. We have the fruit, that we always say apple that Eve ate, but it's just listed as a fruit. So It could, that one's up for interpretation. But we also do have pomegranates in Song of Solomon.
Right. Dates. Kind of throughout, right?
Are there dates mentioned?
Yeah.
There's locusts mentioned and
right,
berries.
Not a fruit. Cantaloupes.
There's cantaloupes mentioned in the Bible?
I probably Song of Solomon. There's all sorts of descriptions, which I find a bit much.
Oh, I didn't know he brought up
melons.
melons.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. But yeah, I mean, I guess there are a lot of fruits.
No, there's not a lot of fruits mentioned in the Bible. The only
really?
specific one is a pomegranate. So trying to make a Christ-centered, facial product line using only biblical fruits.
Well, you're using a banana?
Well, I have to phase out the banana because I realize there's no bananas in the Bible.
Yeah,
There's
I don't think
just
this is a
not.
good time to announce a product line if you haven't really figured out what the product is.
Well, most of this that's on my face is, do you know that drink Palm?
What?
You can get it. It's a bottle shaped like a lady's body, and it's Palm.
Oh, I don't
It's a
like that.
red liquid. It's pomegranate juice.
Okay, what do you
That's
use that
the only. So anyway, I've just been dabbing that palm drink on my face because I can't figure out how to get, from those little pomegranate seed burst things.
Well, that doesn't. I mean, that just sort of looks like your face has got rosacea.
Oh, like a rosy glow.
Right? No, like more like a bloody sort of like that the blood it's all come up to the surface.
Oh, well, that can't be bad. I mean, in terms of like getting some good new circulation in my face.
Yeah.
I did the Daniel diet years ago where I just didn't eat anything that could be considered king's food.
Yeah. How did that go?
Well, that plus doing my 60,000 steps a day out in the parking lot. I think I started to feel better in my jeans, in my favorite jeans. But now I'm, rather than focusing on my diet, I'm focusing on my skin regimen.
What was that? Why I saw you? Because 60,000 steps is quite a bit. Is that why sometimes I see you just walking in place at the front door before you come in?
That's right. I sometimes will just stand and march in place. I'll do that anytime I'm waiting in a line.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm waiting for the scrambled eggs to brown on the stove. Stuff like that.
You'll just stand and walk in place.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah, for sure. Those count as steps. Sometimes I'll sing "Onward, Christian Soldiers, Marching as to War." What a lovely kids song. Anyway, I just feel like, Christians are looking for businesses to support that are Bible backed and that are Christ centered. And so I can do that with a little fruit. Now, when you think about the fruit of the Spirit, I've always pictured actual fruit. Like I see a cornucopia
of bounty.
And, eat on the apple, it says love. On the orange, it says joy. On the pear, it says peace. On the, plum, it says love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, all the way down with grapes, bananas, maybe some melons, all the way down. So I've always pictured, those fruits of the Spirit as actual fruits,
right?
And so when I launched into a new skincare line that's Christ-centered, I was thinking it's going to be fruit-based because that'll make it biblical. But doing a real cursory quick search, I found out that the only specific piece of fruit mentioned in the Bible is pomegranates.
Really?
But the Bible does mention vinegar. It mentions vinegar because they were putting vinegar on Jesus. Is vinegar not a fruit?
No.
I thought it was squeezed from fruit and then just sort of soured or some such.
Yeah.
I could do the vinegar diet. I'll just have to keep scouring God's word for, things that I could make products out of, because Christians deserve to have a fresh face and to enjoy a fruit salad once in a while.
Yeah,
because who doesn't love a fruit salad smothered in mayo?
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
You're the perfect blend of elegance and style, and your ride should be no different. The 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid meets all your needs. from business to brunch and everywhere in between. With head-turning details like a sleek front end, plus stylish interior, and an available 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and seamless tech integration. Okay, Hyundai. Visit HyundaiUSA.com to learn more about the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid.
Well, this really reminds me, Halle, of, speaking of how the Bible and things in the Bible can just really, create opportunities in your life. I had a fun thing happen this week, which was, on TikTok, which I'm getting quite a bit of traction ever since it came back.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I started doing basically a Christian TikTok viral dance, the David dance.
Oh, really? It was viral, but right when you started it?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, then it's definitely going to go.
Yeah. And so, I guess I don't know what really makes something viral other than I think
it's views.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, I guess I would say it is it has viral potential. I've been doing this dance, and a lot of my teens who come to Climax seem to really like it. And it's, on TikTok, you have to be relevant. You have to be putting out things that the teens are into. And so I've been doing this David dance, and it's been awesome to see how the teens react to it.
How do they react to it?
Well, right now they're reacting in a way that I would consider a bit stuck up. But I'm like, guys, this is way better than all these dances that I see you doing all the time. I mean, I've literally looked at thousands of the dances that they're doing on TikTok, and most of them are boring. And this one, to me, is very exciting because it's kind of what I imagine David dancing like.
Well, I don't think David would dance suggestively.
No, it's not suggestive, Halle, but it definitely has a lot of athletic ability. I do some pull-ups in the middle of it.
Awesome.
And then I, of course, do this hat thing that all the teens are doing. But I at least do the hat thing up to God.
Mm-hmm,
and, I'm doing this.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then sometimes I do this, and, I'm doing this.
Oh.
And then I do
wow.
this. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll do this.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll do this.
That looks great. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
And I'll do this.
Oh, you're breaking a sweat.
Well, I don't have a pull-up bar here, but sometimes I'll jump like this.
Oh. Oh.
And I'll do like that. And
that was a jump. You didn't get off the ground.
Yes, I did, Halle. And then I do and then I do this, and then I'll do a little twist. I'll turn around, and then I'll turn around, and then I'll turn around, and then I'm turning. Turn.
Wow, you are spinning.
Yeah.
Wow. Are you going to need to catch your breath for a sec?
No.
Wow, that was very impressive. And honestly, I felt like I was looking at David.
I know, that's how David would have danced, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly how David would have danced. And, maybe it's called viral because maybe David had a common cold when he first danced that way. So it was instantaneously viral as a dance. And, as long as it wasn't bacterial, which I think you're always hoping for bacterial because that can be treated with antibiotics, right? But
right.
When it's viral, there's nothing the doctor can do but send you home, tell you to drink a lot of fluids and get in bed.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking with these teens is as soon as they catch on to this dance, they are not going to be stopping doing it, and I just have to get a few of them bought in, and maybe some of the popular ones to learn it. That is one problem with the David dance is it's hard to learn. It
had a lot of moves.
Yeah,
it's athletic.
Yes.
I mean, these kids, if they start doing the David dance, they might be able to get a PE credit down at Broad Ripple High for doing it because it seems, like you're actually physically exerting yourself. And if there are teens being judgy of your David dance, Gray, I'll tell you why. And it's because it's not suggestive sexually. And these kids are only wanting to move and pop and lock and do different things that show their midriffs and that make them swivel their hips in a way that's suggestive of the way the hips move sexually.
I do show my midriff in it when depending on what I'm wearing. When I
did see your belly button a few times.
No, that's just because I'm wearing a crop top today.
That's right, and only showed when you lifted your arms well over your head.
Right, and I'm also. Do you like this jeans jacket that I'm wearing?
That is so cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's distressed. I love distressed
It's
clothes.
very ripped up.
Yeah.
Like it really is only being held together by its own seams. You're really just wearing a set of seams that used to hold fabric.
Well, I mean, this is, it's kind of a tattered look. And I like things really distressed. So sometimes, and I'm not sure if I've mentioned him before, but my friend Clay Mason Bannerman and I we'll hook a jeans jacket to the back of his Cybertruck and just drag it around the parking lot a few times just to get that really distressed look. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that's cool.
Sometimes I'll put Popsicles sit on the jean jacket. Do you know Clay's son Popsicles? He'll sit on the jean jacket just to give it a little bit of downward pressure, and then we'll drag it around the parking lot. And he
like
thinks
he's
it's fun.
tubing behind a boat,
Exactly.
but he's jeans jacketing behind a truck.
Yeah, and we'll say, "Do you want to go ride the jeans jacket?" And he'll say, "Yeah," and we'll go out and do that. He's gotten a bit skinned up a few times, but it's all for a good cause.
Well, I guess you could do that with the brand that you are an ambassador for, Riffy Boy Jeans.
Yeah, I'm not. Please don't say that right now, Hallie. I'm not actually an ambassador for Riffy Boy any longer. We have just some like basic differences about like what direction the company should go.
Oh no!
Because the whole thing with Riffy Boy that I created was big on the top, small on the bottom.
Right.
And now they're saying they want to go big on the bottom, small on the top. And I'm going, that is not the trend right now, guys. They're basically saying the boot cut is back, the flare is back. And I'm saying you can't just chase trends. I'm telling you, these teens, they change overnight. We have to be out front creating the trends, and they're going, no. So I said, I'm not going to be a Riffy Boy ambassador anymore.
Well, those kids are just saying that they want those bell bottoms jeans because that's what the guy wore in the Super Bowl dance.
Oh yeah, do you realize the access? Just that you get up a pant leg with a bell bottoms jeans.
Oh,
and so I had always thought tight on the bottom. Because, that's the thing, Hallie, when I've got these teens in the auditorium, I'm always kind of looking to see what their legs are doing, because sometimes the teens will try to put their hands up each other's pant legs.
From the bottom at the ankle.
From the bottom to the top.
Oh, no.
And well, then, of course, Riffy Boy's argument was, what if they go from the top to the bottom? Yeah. And I'm going, this is not a thing. They don't do that. They're always trying to be sneaky and go from the bottom to the top.
Well, I think you have a better business mind, to be honest with you, Gray, because if you make the jeans wide on the top, up at the waist part, and tight at the bottom, not only can these kids not be reaching up each other's pant legs, but you also get to sell suspenders to hold them up at the top, to hold them onto the body.
I said. The suspenders are the coolest part.
And then you're not making two sales. You're making the sale of a Riffy Boy jeans, and then you're making the sale of
a
the
Riffy Boy suspenders.
So that's what you got to do, to build a strong business, I say.
Well, it is kind of like, and I told them this. I said, during the gold rush, you want to be the guy selling shovels.
That's right.
And during a Riffy Boy pant craze, you're going to also want to be the guy selling suspenders. And they've completely cut out the whole suspenders line because they want to do tight on the top, loose on the bottom.
Well, I mean, they're going to, they're going to reap what they sow, and they're going to get all these kids. There's going to be just a crush, a rash of, kids reaching up these wide bottom legs. I mean, my kids were telling me Super Bowl singer guy was filling up his whole show with symbolism, and that even the Bell's bottoms pants was a symbol of the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia or something.
What was that guy? I think his name is LeVar Burton.
Yeah. He did the singing in the middle of the Super Bowl, and he got one of the Williams tennis girls out there dancing and everything. And I said, well, is this football or is it tennis? I don't know. I was in my 70 layer dip, that I obviously make every year on the Super Bowl in a Home Depot big, storage tub that I fill with, beans, shredded cheese.
Yeah, I think you gave the recipe a few weeks ago.
Chives, lots of sour cream, ground beef, taco seasoning, hot sauce. You can really put anything in there. But I missed most of the halftime show.
Oh, you
because
did?
I was neck deep in a 70-layer dip.
I
so
mean, literally, like you fell into it?
I did. I tripped and I fell into the tub. Luckily, my forehead only made it as far as like the second layer of ground beef, and that was thick enough. I think I had actually just thrown in like a full sausage patty in there. Thinking
so it sort of served as a bottom.
It was a stopper. It stopped me from like, going all the way down to the bottom of the bin.
I mean, that's probably a hazard if you've got small children around. You definitely don't want to have them trying to climb inside a giant tub of dip.
I'd like to have popsicles and Pellicules over sometime to, make them a snack. I could slice up some apples and give them some peanut butter.
They don't eat that, Hallie. Unfortunately, they're such little. They're so stuck up. They're just these little. Honestly, Popsicles is in that age where he's just a kind of a jerk.
Oh no!
And I keep telling him that. I'm like, you're kind of being a jerk. And I'm like, Clay, you can deal with this. But, he and, his friend, I say friend, it's kind of his babysitter, my next door neighbor, Donovan Geo.
Oh, no.
They think they're all that, and they're really not. And I don't even, Popsicles at this point, at this age, which is anywhere between the age of 2 and 9, I can't keep track.
Yeah.
But he's just in that age where he just says no to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll say, hey, do you want a protein shake? No, I don't like a protein shake. I'm like, hey, do you want a beef jerky? No, I don't like it. He'll say, and I'm like, this is bison jerky. This is even the best one. No, I don't like it. And I'm like, well, what do you like? And he says things like, I like, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I'm like, what is that?
What?
I don't know. I don't even know what that is.
Well, that's Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, it is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't
he
like
wrote
that.
musicals on Broadway.
Well, anyway, he's an absolutely feral child, and I'm not going to do anything to tame him because he's not my responsibility.
Well,
I've got plenty of teens that I have to deal with that already, Hallie.
Well, can't you, use the dragging him around on the behind the truck to distress the jeans jacket? Can't you use that as incentive?
Well, he makes me pay him for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
what does he charge?
Well, he said his allowance. He said this is a chore that I'm doing, and therefore I want remuneration. And he said that. I want remuneration.
Remuneration?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't think that's a word.
I was like, well, you can have. I gave him $5. Apparently now $5 isn't even an allowance, Hallie.
What?
He said he wanted $100. I was like, bud, this is a $400 jean jacket you're riding around on.
Summer's here, and you can now get almost anything you need for your sunny days delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parmesan delivered. A cabana? That's a no. But a banana? That's a yes. A nice tan? Sorry, nope. But a box fan? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
There you go. What do you give for tooth when you do the tooth fairy?
Oh, what's that?
Well, you have to leave them cash. I mean, I usually give $5 per tooth as the tooth fairy for my kids. I mean, is Popsicles going to start charging, upwards of $100 per tooth?
Oh, we don't do that in Australia, Hallie. We have something called the gum goblin.
Gum goblin?
Yeah. He comes in the middle of the night and pulls out any loose teeth and leaves them under your pillow.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've tried to pull out the Popsicles' teeth many times, and he's always For some reason, he never sleeps. He's always sleeping with one eye open, and he's like, "Get out of here!" Anyway, we don't pay kids for teeth in Australia. We just we pull the teeth when we think they're ready.
Oh, well, I guess we do that too. We put a string around each tooth, and then we tie the string to a doorknob, and then we slam the door.
Oh, really?
That's an American tradition.
Oh, you put a tooth on the
you tie a string around the loose tooth,
Okay.
and then you tie the other end of that string around a doorknob, and then the kid stands in place, and then you slam the door shut, and it rips the tooth
What
out.
if you have a
it's
sliding
a lovely and American tradition.
What if you have a sliding glass door?
Oh, then you just have to angle the kid so that when you slide the door, it goes in the opposite direction of where the kid is standing.
Okay. Oh, wow. I've never heard of that. That's really interesting. And what about, it seems like it would be better if you have, like, at least at Clay's house, there's the attic door that it's basically an overhead in the hallway corridor upstairs storage, and that thing really swings up. Maybe I should tie Popsicles' teeth to that thing and just like let it go.
That would work. And I'm here to tell you, my brother in Christ, that if Popsicles has entered his no, I don't want to phase, no, I don't like that, no, I don't eat that, no, I don't want to, I hate to tell you, but he could be anywhere between the ages of 2 and 22.
Oh, right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How are things going with your kids, Hallie?
Oh, well, like I said, my children were telling me that the Super Bowl singer was chock full of imagery, symbolism, things were happening that, audience members weren't even aware of. It was so chock full of, I guess, rap music is full of things like similes and metaphors and.
Not the good stuff.
Oh, really? Well, I guess my kids are telling me that it's just like Shakespeare. Shakespeare used to be all full of symbolism and he would use wordplay and all that. Rap's doing the same thing, but now I guess these rappers are doing it with their fashion, with their friends who are dancing. Anything can be meaningful and have symbology. You know what I mean?
Hallie, come and see one of my sermons that I give to the teens, and I'm doing the exact same thing, but I'm doing it better. I load it up with symbolism because, and I gave a whole talk about that LeVar Burton halftime show where I broke it down for the teens, saying like, this is bad, this isn't Christian, this isn't Christ-like. And then I kind of did my whole thing where I said, you want a halftime show, you show up on Sunday, you're going to get this level of performance every time.
That's
and
right.
then, I ended with the David dance, which is kind of, I did.
Oh, yes. Ooh. Yes.
And I was like, what about that symbolism?
No,
Where I
keep it
did the
going. Don't stop now. Hearts to heaven.
And
Hearts
then
to
they
heaven.
really,
Yeah.
sorry,
Keep
I can't
going.
really,
You can't
I can't
stop
really
now.
stay on the mic when I do.
Yeah,
Because when I do the twirl,
the spins are good. Yeah. No,
yeah.
keep going. You got to finish
Well,
it.
I can't
all
stay on the
way
mic,
through.
Hallie. I've got to, you know what I mean? I just, anyway, I think I kind of pulled something there. But, yeah. So, when they see me do the David dance, they're like, that is symbolism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of symbolism, Hallie, something that I've really been getting into that I think is maybe the most Christian thing that I've watched in secular culture in quite some time?
What?
Yellowstone.
Is that right?
I love Yellowstone.
Oh, I love Kevin Costner. Have ever since he played Aquaman in Waterworld.
Well, he's not in it anymore, but apparently
it's a
there was
shame.
a parting of the ways. But yeah, the Yellowstone it's Clay and I really enjoy Yellowstone, and we also like all the new ones, all the spin-offs. There's 1923, there's Old and in the Way.
What's the story of the original Yellowstone?
It's basically a guy who comes back to Yellowstone and he's got to set things right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yellowstone National Park?
Yeah, I think so, or right around there. But I don't really pay attention to what they're saying as much as I just love how it depicts the America that I dreamed of when I was a kid, going, that is America. And I was just like, oh man, this Yellowstone is really, really good. Anyway.
Well, I think Kevin Costner you can't keep Kevin Costner out of a Western.
No, you can't.
You can't keep him out of a Western. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can put him, you can have him play a Native American, but he's going to go racing right back into a Western because you know why? He's got that look. He looks like a cowboy. He's got a Western look.
Definitely.
He was once in a baseball movie. That's fine.
And look what happened when they tried to put Alec Baldwin in a Western.
See, because God made Kevin Costner to be in Western films. He's got the look. You know, in the same way my husband, Lance Labont, has the look for, hypoglycemia. Kevin Costner has the look for a Western.
Exactly.
So I think, you're saying Kevin Costner's no longer in Yellowstone?
But he did the most important work already, Hallie. He sort of laid the groundwork for all the spinoffs, which is awesome. And, it's just going to be great. I don't know all the names of all the spinoffs, but there's like Buffalo Jones and 1911 and Cowboy
Crush,
Cowboy Crush, and things like that. And of course, every time we turn it on, guess who shows up?
Oh no, Donovan Geo with his catchphrase,
"Cowboy butts drive me nuts," and I'm like,
no.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I feel sick. I feel sick.
Speaking
to
of
my
sliding
stomach.
glass door, I'd like to hook his tooth to one and really give it a slam.
I mean,
Because did you know that he has kind of a? Did you know Donovan Geo has an what do they call it? An egg tooth.
An egg tooth?
An egg tooth.
An egg tooth.
His front tooth is one. It's like a baby tooth that grew down in between the gap of his adult teeth.
Wait, he has a baby tooth in between his adult tooths?
He had a gap in between his teeth, and then recently this year, a baby tooth grew down in between
the two front teeth. So he
yeah,
has one
they call
big,
it an egg tooth.
A fused three front.
A fused three front.
Wow.
I don't know how I got
an
onto
egg
that.
tooth?
Oh, I got onto that because I want to slam his head in a door. But I think, it looks absolutely bizarre. And I was like, well, you should go to Dr. Crisp and have that thing taken out. He said, I like it.
Oh no. It grieves the heart of God. Well, Crisp could fix him up. Dr. Crisp can do anything. I also could call my man, handyman Dick Epps.
Oh, Dick Epps comes over and watches Yellowstone.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. He comes over all the time. He loves Yellowstone.
Well,
he looks like a guy from Yellowstone,
he does.
doesn't he?
He's over 7 foot tall and has dimples. He's so cute. Always on that motorcycle. Always has wet hair. Is always fresh out of the shower, smelling good.
I know. I'm a little bit worried about the wet hair, actually.
How is it
really
that he's
shouldn't ride
always
a
out
motorcycle
of the
with
shower?
a wet hair?
And how does he ride a motorcycle all day long and still have wet hair? It seems like the wind would dry
Well,
it.
he says he likes to always, after every job, he takes a shower. So,
Awesome.
actually, this happened last week where he had come over. I forget what he was fixing. I think Clay knocked over a CD tower, and he was putting the CDs back into the CD tower. Clay had over 1,000 CDs in a CD tower. It got knocked over because Popsicles and his weird little friends were running around the house amok. And of course, we said, well, we've got to call Dick. He came over, put the CDs back in the 1,000 CD tower, and then he was like, hey, do you mind if I take a shower? I always like to clean up after a job. We said totally. He used the second guest bathroom shower. And you know what, Hallie? The one thing you can tell about a good handyman, he left it better than he found it. He dried the shower stall out after he took a shower.
Of course he
did. And of course,
did.
that's why he's always wet.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, Dick Epps could get that egg tooth out of Donovan Geo's face. I know that for sure. There's nothing Dick Epps can't do. I just recently had to have him get evolution ichthus fish off my Lexus.
What? Who put that there?
Someone put an evolution ichthus.
Oh.
If you don't know, an ichthus is a Greek letter in the Greek alphabet, the original language of the New Testament, Koine Greek. The G sound is an ichthus, and it's shaped like a fish, a swimming fish. And when people want to be sick, they put 2 little feet on the fish, on the ichthus. It looks like a fish, and they're trying to make some kind of comment, that that evolution is how we got here, not the creation story. But you know what? I always, because I know that to be a fundamental literalist, to have a literal interpretation of the Holy Scriptures, of God's Word, is it takes an intellectual mind. And so you can't pull one over on me. And so I've called a family meeting because I don't know if someone put an evolution ichthus on my Lexus, and it was like a chrome one, it was
did they put the evolution ichthus on, or did they add on to the ichthus that you already had?
Because I did have an ichthus, yeah.
Yeah, you have a few.
So maybe it was just they added the feet. And so I called Dick Epps and I say, you got to get this disgusting thing off my Lexus. I knew he would have no problem doing that whatsoever. In the meantime, I called a family meeting and I said, I don't know if this happened when I was parked at the Home Depot. If it was when I was parked at Twin Hills, probably definitely not. We also have security cameras in the parking lot. If it happened when I was parked out front in the driveway, or, maybe when I was over at a Joann Fabric. Because that's going out of business and I have to load up on fab. It is, because liberal America is after all the Christian institutions. They're going after Joann Fabric. They're going after Hobby Lobby. They're going after Chick-fil-A. They're going after, anyone who has, who is the moral majority or authority, I think. Now moral we have authority, to say, because now we can't even say majority because we're such an oppressed minority at this point in this godless country. But anyway, I called a family meeting and I said, if it was anyone here who put feet on my ichthus, I just want you to know something, that you're going to have to get up pretty early in the morning if you want to pull one over on me. Because not only do I walk through the Bible every single day of every single year that I'm alive, and not only do I throw myself on the throne room of God every single day with my prayer requests and my supplications, but also I cannot be shaken by a couple of little feet growing on a fish to walk out of the ocean. And here's why. If there is any microevolutions taking place on planet Earth, guess who created that?
I guess the answer is probably God.
God is what I tell my kids.
Sometimes the word evolution bumps me so hard.
I know. It makes me feel sick. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you just look at your ring cam and see who put it on there?
That's true. It would show it if it did happen at my house. I will do that. But the last time I checked my ring cam, I was finding things out that I frankly didn't really want to know about a couple of my dogs. Because sometimes I let them out into the front yard to relieve themselves, and I'll pick it up later.
But do you have an electric fence out there?
I do. I do.
That's because I wondered why. When I was dropping by a few things the other week, that were, I don't know which one of your dogs it was. There's so many. But it came running up toward the car and then just screamed and sort of threw itself in the air as if it had been, just hit by a lightning bolt.
Well, oh yeah, when it hit the fence.
Yeah. So and I was like, "What's wrong with this dog?" But it's just that's the electric fence.
I think that was Pancake, and Pancake has fun with it. That's what Pancake does for fun. He likes to catch some air, because he's a corgi, doesn't have any height to him whatsoever. So he goes running as fast as he can straight at my electric fence when he knows I've got it fired up, and he shoots up in the air. It feels probably what it felt like the first time, LeBron James, dunked for the first time he ever did it.
That's when he was 6 years old, I think, was the story.
That's what Pancake's trying to do. He's out there catching air and having a blast.
Oh yeah, I was so confused because that thing really tossed him.
Because the reason I can't look at my ring camera footage, to be honest with you, Gray, is because last time I did, I saw as you know, I got Frenchies and I got Corgis. I saw one of my Frenchies engaging in some behavior and activity out in the front yard, unbeknownst to me.
Worse than throwing itself into an electric fence?
Well, I let Pancake have a time with the fence just because, again, he wants to catch some air. He's having a good time, wants to feel tall. I get it. I oftentimes wish I was tall. I don't like to have to grab a step stool every time.
How tall are you, Halle? Because I think we've talked about this.
I told you, I am 4'11" and I'm going to heaven.
I know, but for a long time you thought you were what? You thought you were like 5'10".
Yeah, I was always telling people I was just under 6 foot because my sister Candy is so tall. It's very odd that, she and I are whole sisters, and so different in height. And she's got, she's over 6 foot tall, and she's got, frankly, not much up top in the front, if you know what I mean. And here I've got these, well, as you know, I call my brassieres over the shoulder boulder holders because of what I've got. And I mean, as you know, I've had multiple breast reductions. They come back bigger every single time. And it's my cross to bear. It's my burden to bear. And I'll tell you what, getting up on a step stool to try to reach something in a high cabinet when I'm so top heavy, I mean, I will flip over and go straight down. I will flip because I'm so top heavy.
Is that how you ended up in the salt or in the dip bucket?
That is how I ended up in my 70 layer dip until I hit the ground beef layer, and it did stop me, thank goodness. Or I could have drowned in there because, like I said, it was during the halftime singer song show, and nobody would have saved me. I would have had some, I could have drowned in melted cheese. As you know, I put a soft nacho cheese in my 70 layer dip, many times over. I get them out of the big 2-gallon aluminum cans, at Costco. So sorry about that. I just was my face stuck because I have too much palm juice on my face.
I just keep thinking your face is sort of seeping blood, but you're saying that's pomegranate juice.
It's pomegranate juice because you know what? I'm going to keep a fresh face, and I'm going to do it all while being Christ-centered. Now, here's the thing.
Now, what were you talking about the ring cam before we got off on this? Yeah,
you check the ring cam. You're going to see Pancake out there catching air and, feeling what it's like to, get shot into the air, like a Starlink satellite being sent up, into
Starlink.
space.
Starlink rules.
I know. That's so cool. It's so cool. Anyway, I discovered on the Ring camera footage that my Frenchie Pajamas, was out there carrying on in some untoward nighttime activities with a neighborhood cat. And by neighborhood, I mean it's in the neighborhood. I don't know if it even belongs to a neighbor, which I'm hoping that it does and has all its shots, because if this is a stray cat that Pajamas is taken up with, I found on the footage that I'm looking at my beloved Pajamas, who is one of my absolute favorite Frenchies. And he starts rubbing on this wild cat outside. The cat's making all sorts of noises like it's, a dying buffalo in Yellowstone. And
well, it's a bit different.
And the cat is rubbing on Pajamas' face. Pajamas bends his back knees, bends his front knees, sidles over to his side, lies on his side. The cat's licking the side of his face, kissing him on his face.
Okay.
He goes back. He goes belly up. All 4 legs are going straight up in the air. He's flat on his back. This cat crawls on top of him where all their, stuff is lined up, if you don't mind me saying so.
I don't really follow, but go on.
You can picture. Their faces are facing each other. Their throats are facing each other.
Okay.
Their nipples are facing each other.
Nipples?
Their other nipples are facing each other. The other 2 nipples are facing each other. The other two, all the way down to where their bottoms or front bottoms are facing each other.
What's happening?
And there it looks like some passionate necking and making out
with a cat.
Yes, with a neighborhood cat. And Pajamas has all 4 legs straight up in the air like he's got rigor mortis or some such. And he's just letting this cat do the cat thing. And I've said before that I think the evil one uses cats because they're very slick and sexual acting, and they, put their rumps up in the back, and it's no bueno. It is no bueno. And so I had to bring Pajamas in after I saw this footage, and I had to sit him down, and I don't know how much of this he picked up. I know that, dogs can speak upwards of 70 English words, not speak it, but understand it,
right.
obviously.
Probably not your dog's,
but I didn't know how much of the conversation we got to, but I didn't even get to the interspecies stuff.
Right.
I just said that is not behavior we indulge in this house. When I let you out, the thing I am letting you out to do, especially in terms of with your body, is to relieve your bowels and your bladder. Okay? I'm not asking you to go belly up with some feline who knows if she even has her shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've got pajamas, I've got pajamas going to Dr. Crisp, all the time.
Oh, does he treat animals too?
Definitely.
Really?
Definitely. And so does Dick Epps, my handyman.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I have a diabetic corgi, and she has to get insulin shots, and I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'll just text old Dick Epps. He'll race over on his motorcycle, and you can get the needles right off of Amazon.
Oh, I love Amazon.
Love Amazon.
Amazon
Can't
is
get enough
awesome.
of it. I just am like, you know what? I could just stay at my computer all day, and people could shout things to me to order on Amazon, and I'm just going to be like, pop, 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 pop. Next thing you know, it's at my door within 2 hours. It is so cool. I mean, it's so convenient. And anyway, so I gave old pajamas a talking to, and he's not allowed to go out front anymore. He has to stay in the back, and it's in the backyard is like a veritable, it's basically like an obstacle course back there now, because we've obviously got the big trampoline and the guillotine, and the above ground pool, the in ground pool.
Yeah, what are you doing with that guillotine?
Well, Fitter, my daughter, made that guillotine for us. My husband Lance Labonte's been using it to slice up patties for the grill.
Really?
I
guess that's useful.
Yeah, it's real. It's like a huge mandolin, which is a kitchen tool.
Yeah.
Luckily I've just got a big version in my backyard.
Something that cat thing reminded me of, Halle, and maybe I should have seen this as a warning sign anyway. But when Donovan Geo, my psychotic neighbor, moved in, I thought maybe the first problem was that he only has one kind of pet, and that is a hairless cat. And he's had them for years, because everyone that's died, he's had, what do you call it? Taxidermied. So when you go into the front of his geodesic dome, there's like 3 little ETs staring there at you, and it's like the thing that you just immediately. There's something really unnerving about a cat with no hair, especially a dead one that's at the front door.
That jump scare that the thought just gave you, you should put that into the David dance. That would be, if you have some like jump scare movements, in and throughout the David dance.
That's interesting, because teens do love horror. But yeah, if you walk into someone's front door and you see 3 stuffed hairless cats is the first thing that you see, and then a guy wearing Y fronts saying the most insane things you've ever heard, it's a problem.
If you'd like to listen ad-free, if you would like behind-the-scenes podcasts, and if you would like Discord access and much, much more, go to mega.supercast.com and become a supporter today. That's mega.supercast.com. And as always, I'm Holly Laurent playing Halle Labonte, and that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas.